All right, let's talk about another game that I am actually really excited about because we are not politically correct on the show at all. We can call it the Red River Shootout. This is a game that well before Texas and Oklahoma joined the SEC, I watched every single year. More often than not, it was game day. It's such a cool atmosphere and environment. Never liked that it started so early, but um, this one is I think particularly interesting this year. I think that Oklahoma is very good. I think their trenches are incredible, but they are missing John Mateer at the moment, recovering from thumb surgery. And I honestly don't know what to make of Texas. Going into last week's game, I thought, okay, their defense is incredibly good. Their offense is just struggling. This is going to be, I thought the game was going to be far more low scoring than it was the Florida Texas game. So I'm left like confused about Texas. I think we can all agree that their offense is not great, but there were some opportunities there. Arch just didn't take advantage of them. But is their defense also not as good as we expected? Will?
I think the defense is fine. It's probably not quite as good as like we touted it up to be because of how much talent was there, but I do
Mhm.
think it's still a good unit. And I mean, like you said, with no Mateer, it seems like Venables is expecting that based on what he said. The guy at Chipotle and Norman clearly didn't have the right scoop. But I mean, my biggest thing with this is what is Oklahoma's front going to do to that Texas offensive line? I
Yeah.
mean, because Florida's D line, which had not been impressive, had good players, but really had underperformed, absolutely dominated that offensive line. And Oklahoma's front has already been consistently awesome. And now they get to line up against what is a weak Texas offensive line. I mean, this could be a bloodbath on that side of the ball. And for Oklahoma offensively, they need to find some sort of run game because without Mateer, I do like Michael Hawkins at quarterback, but he wasn't awesome throwing the ball last week, and he's not going to find it against Texas. But Oklahoma running the ball is also a pretty big concern because they were just okay running it against Kent State this past week. And Kent State is not Texas. Texas grades out pretty well against the run. Florida did find some success on the ground, but I like Florida's running game better than I do Oklahoma's. I think this game is going to be pretty low scoring, assuming we don't get a Mateer in this game. I hyped up Oklahoma all summer. I love them to win this game. It's still pretty scary for me without Mateer. It I mean, kind of like what you said. I'm a little confused too because Texas favored by 3. It's a weird line, unranked over number 6 in the country, but it's a hard game to predict given what we've seen and who's hurt.
It was such a wild fall for them, 9 to unranked as well. I guess maybe that tells you what pollsters think of Florida more than even what they think of Texas. But TJ, you watched the Florida Texas game. Does Arch have it in him? Like, is he a week away from putting it together? Did you see things that made you think that, like, okay, they're getting close, or is this offense just bad?
Yeah, I mean, he could be, but not against Brent Venables. Like, that's maybe the problem is, but they've had get right games, right? Like, they flexed over Sam Houston State and they got to play a bunch of schools of the deaf and the blind, right? Like, that's, like they're not going to do it this week. Like, this isn't the week that you're going to be like, there goes 38 points from Texas offense against an SEC opponent. Like, there we go. Like, we're back. That would be, I mean, maybe if I say it's not going to happen enough, it does happen just so I can be wrong. But I don't see it this week. And yeah, I mean, he's missing wide open guys. Like, not to discredit Florida at all, but if he just hits a couple of those guys, they have a chance to go in and win. And it could change the entire trajectory of the game. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't think that he's doing it this week. And I don't know if it happens this season. I don't even have their schedule up in front of me, but they still got to go to Athens. They still have tough games on here. And fortunately for them, they're playing most likely right without Mateer. I don't have the latest, but if Mateer was in this game, like I'd pick Oklahoma and not even think twice about it. Like
Mhm.
they're just an absolute wreck. And again, I'm not trying to get anything from Florida, but the one thing I counted on was like, oh, they won't give up a lot of points to Florida and it'll be close for both teams and they'll find. I mean, they were dreadful on defense. And I mean, it almost gives you some confidence that even maybe Haskins could put some points on them, though he's nowhere near, what Lagway is and they don't have the weapons that Florida has either. But they'll be good in the trenches. They'll find ways. They'll try and run the ball. So I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of faith in Texas right now. I mean, they could win this game because of who they're playing at quarterback if that's the way it goes down. But yeah, I don't think that this is the week that he just all of a sudden finds it. Certainly not against Oklahoma.
What is the one key to victory for Oklahoma? Well,
I do think it's just running the ball with both, their running backs and also with Hawkins because I mean, Jaden Ott coming over from Cal, he's been non-existent. He finally got some run against Kent State and did just okay. Oklahoma's got enough decent runners to put together a solid attack, right? I mean, they don't have a Jaden Ball back there. Their offensive line isn't the same, but they have enough options to where I think they could try and just chip away, just like 4 yards per carry, be willing to put yourself into 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s all day, but just keep converting them. They have to be able to run, and obviously that pass rush needs to keep doing what they're doing because they got 10 sacks against Auburn. I mean, if I think realistically, it's wild to say they could get 8 sacks on Texas, and that would just totally change that game. You beat up Arch a little bit. You don't let him throw it down to those receivers. Could really change that whole game.
So you think there's a chance Oklahoma's getting more sacks than Florida got last week? That is definitely interesting. TJ, if Texas wins, it's because they did what?
I think their defense has to play better. Like, I know that we focus so much on Arch and what he's able to do. I think we kind of know what he is at this point. And that doesn't mean he can't be better through the end of the year or next year potentially. But I think it's their defense. I think they have to play better. Because, again, that was the one thing I expected in this matchup. I didn't think that Arch was going to go out and light Florida's defense up. Florida's defense has been way too good this year. But I did think it would be low scoring and they would limit what has been a very bad Florida offense through the first month of the season. That didn't happen, right? And went the complete opposite way. They've got to be better against Oklahoma's offense, and they've got to keep this game in the high teens, low 20s. This game can't get up to, mid 20s to high 20s because I don't think Texas can score enough. So to me, it's on their defense to put together a performance like Florida's defense did against Miami or like Florida's defense did against LSU. They need to go out and really, really be good on that side of the ball. Maybe if Haskins is playing, that's a little easier than certainly Mateer. But I think we know what Arch is. I think it's on the defense to go out and win a game.
All right, well, give me your score prediction in the Red River Shootout.
It's not going to be a shootout this year. I mean, I was looking forward to this. 42.5 is the total for this game. If you had said that preseason, I would have asked you what you were drinking. But I mean, I think I like Oklahoma enough on that defensive line. Really, I think that's going to be the matchup that really decides the game. I'll go like 21-14 Oklahoma in the most boring Red River of all time.
TJ?
Yeah, I'll ride with Oklahoma too. I don't, maybe it's just too much recency bias, but what was yours, Will? I don't want to pick the same thing.
I said 21-14.
Yeah, I'll go even uglier. 17-13 Oklahoma. This is incredibly ugly, but doesn't bother me, man. I put like 4 games on at once, so I'll just watch the points in a Big 12 game or something while this is on at the same time.
I actually went even uglier than you. I wrote down 17-10 Oklahoma. I do think that points will be at a.
So the over will hit. Yeah, if you're betting on this thing, the over is going to hit since we all just picked games in the teens. It'll go to triple overtime and we'll all get screwed.